Some moist incense is made with fruit. There are a number of ways of doing it. You can use dried fruit, but one way is steamed in a pear and then mixed with the pear pulp. So the first thing, I'm using a ceramic knife because some herbs don't like metal, and I just don't know for sure. I have an iron knife I really like, but just in case, I'm going to use this ceramic one. Okay. So we cut off the lid and we save it. And then we kind of want to scoop out the core, but we don't want to hold to the bottom. We want to leave the bottom in one piece, so you can fill the hole. I'm not so good with kitchen stuff and knife stuff. Let's see if I can scoop out some of this. Save it for a snack. Get the seeds out. I don't want to go much deeper because I'm afraid it will go through to the bottom, but I do think I need a little bit more space. So I'm going to widen the hole. Okay, this is probably good. The formula is 10 parts of chénxiāng. Here is my chénxiāng powdered to 1 part of tánxiāng. So here we have tánxiāng. And so I've already pre-measured. This is 10 grams and 1 gram. And I'm just gonna mix it a little bit. It'll get further mixed when we take out when we're finished cooking, so I don't have to worry too much. Now I think I'm going to have some leftover powder, but basically we want to fill the cavity that we made. It's probably enough for 2. Or maybe not. Okay. Yeah, I'll just save that powder. Okay, so now that we have that, we put the lid back on. Let's see, can I match it up? No? Like that, maybe? Or like this. There, that's it. Okay, and then we want the lid to stay on, so I'm going to use toothpicks. Now we're ready for the next step, which is steaming it. So the pear is in a bowl. I now have a pot with a trivet and water, and I'm putting the bowl with the pear on top. I'm going to add a little bit of water also around the pear. And I read somewhere that you can add a little tea to the water to add another little subtle flavor. This is very light oolong. If I had green, I would use it, but this is what I have. So I'm just going to put maybe 3 leaves in with the pear, and I'll put the rest of this in the water that will steam it. We'll put the lid on, and it gets steamed 3 times. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to steam it. It gets steamed 3 times. I'm going to do a half hour each. The actual recipe doesn't say. So I'll do a half hour, let it cool down, do another half hour, let it cool down, and again. And then that part will be done. So when I hear it steaming, then I will start the timer. It's steaming now, so I'm going to need to turn it down and let it go for a half hour. Yeah. It's whistling, and it smells good already. I'm going to have to be sure I have enough water and it doesn't go dry. Ready for the second time to simmer it. Let's see what it looks like. The skin on top kind of broke apart. The tea has made some nice liquid. And we'll do the second round. Okay. When it boils, 30 more minutes. Okay, ready for the third boiling. Let's see. Still plenty of liquid inside, so I don't need to add more liquid. But you can see the pear is starting to look more cooked. Okay, here we go. Another half hour. Okay, the third and final steaming has been done. And so hopefully it's cooked all the way through. Now I just need to let it cool, and then we can make the incense. I think I'm going to let it cool overnight. It's already after 7, and by the time it cools off, it'll be kind of late for me, so I'll make it first thing in the morning. So it cooled off overnight. It's kind of early in the morning. I'm still sipping my coffee, and here it is after steaming 3 times. The last time I made it, it was too moist, so it took a long time to dry. And so one of the things I'm going to try and do is let it, can I get this out in one piece? Yeah. So it's going to sit on a little platform so that, it can drip out a bit. This is a steamer for for dumplings, but anyway, okay. I need to peel it. Oh, I forgot the knife. It's over there. Well, it peels by itself. Let's see what it looks like in here. So there's the incense powder, the tánxiāng and chénxiāng that have been moistened by the pear juice. And so, let's see. It's going to be a little messy, but that's okay. I'm gonna scoop out. We definitely want all this powder, and the amount of pear we want depends. It needs to be the right moisture, and in fact, it feels pretty moist already. So we may not want a lot of pear in it. It's already absorbed a lot of the pear. Well, that's really very moist already. So now I have to make a decision. Do I want to add pear to it and make it even moister? But it needs to hold together. So will this hold together? Well, things always change when you pestle them. Pestling is a good thing. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's 100 pestlings. I think it's moist enough. So I am not going to add in the pear. There are recipes that call for pear juice and not the actual pear. So I'm just gonna roll little balls. They're not as neat as honey pellets, but anyway. Okay, that made 70 incense pellets of uneven size. I'm a messy person, and I'm going to get the fan to help them dry more quickly. So that's that. Rather than have to wait for it, I thought I'd just heat some pear incense that I've made in the past. So this is the same formula, and I've got my little electric incense heater. So I'm going to put a pellet in, and I'm gonna turn it on. Let's try 2 hours. And hopefully the heat is adjusted properly, but I can always turn it down if it smells burnt, or I could turn it up if I don't smell much. So there, that's pear incense.